and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here recording episode 107 today, and today will be a special goodbye, or as they say in the Czech Republic, Ahoj episode to discuss. Jared and I are both leaving two places that we have called home. Me for 10 months, Jared for I think about, 3 years? Is that 4 years? Sorry, 4 years, which is Philadelphia. So we will be talking about some of the things we will miss and, saying goodbye to these two amazing places we have called home. And it's going to be a nostalgic episode, so we hope you guys can enjoy joining us on the nostalgia train. Should be a good one today. So we're looking forward to bringing it to you. And without further ado, my co-host, my buddy, and soon-to-be close neighbor, hopefully, in Michigan, Jared. What's going on, Jared?
What's up, you parades? Spread a little love. They got downgraded league, didn't they?
Yeah. They're in the first league now. They were in the extra league. Now they're in the first league. Jared's referring to my polo, by the way.
What is that logo? I've seen it before. No, not that one. The like the brand.
It's Kappa.
Kappa. Okay.
Kappa. They make soccer gear, hockey gear.
I'm very familiar with the two ladies leaning against each other. I just never knew what the brand was actually called. Anyway,
Пожалуйста.
Everyone, please follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Maybe I'll post some stuff from my time in Michigan. I'm in Michigan right now. If you look behind me, once again, not the Harry Potter closet, in yet another hotel. I would have been in an Airbnb, but I waited too long because I really started looking for a place on Wednesday, and I got here on Thursday. So
yeah, that could be tricky.
Best way to to do that. And then please also Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. You'll find episodes, Song of the Pod, ramblings from me, retweets from me, Jared here, and email untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. All those places, slide into the inboxes and DMs and give us topic ideas. Untranslatables, which are idioms, sayings, proverbs.
Axioms.
That don't really make any sense in English, but if you translate them to, or if you explain them, then they make perfect sense. If you don't know what we're talking about, hold on a couple minutes and we'll show you. Or 5-star reviews. Spread a little love.
Ooh, I like that little
remix right there on iTunes and Stitcher. Or you could follow us, or you could subscribe on YouTube if you want. You can see what my Holiday Inn Express in Troy looks like. That's right. You heard it right. Your boy's ballin'. Here at the Untranslatable Podcast, we like to talk about, culture, travel. For example, like today, the experience of living in new cities, what that's like. And we also talk about languages, but I found this story that was right up our alley, and it's about travel. Now, tell me if you've heard about this. Passenger says she woke up alone on an empty Air Canada plane. Did you hear about this?
No.
So, Tiffany O'Brien, she said she woke up on an empty Air Canada plane in the dark and freezing cold. After a short trip from Quebec, however you say it, city, to Toronto, which, by the way, is about an hour and a half, Pearson International Airport, it was just sheer sense of helplessness when you feel like you're locked in an aircraft. That was a quote from her. So let me just explain the story. I know what happened. So essentially, this woman was on a flight. It was I think a night flight, and it was and she woke up. Well, she fell asleep on the plane, and she woke up in the hangar in a pitch black airplane, and she didn't have any. She had enough battery to call her friend and FaceTime or whatever. She said, "Hey, I'm trapped on this plane," and excuse me.
Gotta get all these snakes out of this plane.
Yeah, there are snakes everywhere.
That was a movie. Sorry.
Fighting and wrangling snakes for no. So she called her friend and said, "Hey, I'm sick of these motherfuckers fighting on this motherfucking plane." No, she woke up and said, "I'm trapped on this plane," and her friend called customer service, but she was still trapped on the plane for a while. She was all scared and talking about how she has some PTSD. She can barely sleep anymore. She's afraid of planes and all this stuff. I don't know. Listen, I think a lawsuit's in the works.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so she got stuck on this plane for 90 minutes. She found a flashlight eventually, and then she was able to open the door, but she can't just jump off. Planes are pretty
That's like
high up
20
in the
feet,
air.
right?
Right. I wouldn't recommend just jumping out unless you're some sort of
You gotta
parkour
find that
expert.
door with the little slide
Yeah.
for the water evacuations.
So this raised a couple of thoughts in my head. First of all, what's the protocol for checking these planes?
Right.
Once
I was just going to say, how does that even happen? I don't
Yeah.
understand how that happens.
And then also, I think this also shows like the lack of humanity on airplanes, because how many people walked past her and it's like, not my problem.
well, she was probably snoring, and they were like, "Nope, she's out. Don't want to bother her."
And another thing, there's no way she was sober, right? She at least have to have some like sort of sleeping pills, some sort of booze. Who can sleep that hard? Because it's not even just people getting off the plane, but then they like connect it to something to drag it to the hangar. And, like there's got to be
Also,
noise happening.
How I wonder if any of the flight attendants will have a job after this, because how do you not wake up? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I know.
I wonder if they try to wake her up, like, you know, it's like, "Excuse me, miss." Excuse
Oh,
me,
they
like
just quit,
shook her
like,
a bit,
forget about it?
and she just wouldn't wake up. So they're like, "Well, guess she's going to the hangar." I mean, I don't know.
But that's
how that even
hilarious.
works. I love how you
She
tell me
wants to
this,
sleep.
right? I love how you tell me this like 3 days before I'm about to get on 2 flights. Watch, I'm gonna like end up in Frankfurt in some air hangar and be completely discombobulated and have no idea what's going on, and be like, "God damn it, Jared."
And then I mean, I assume a lawsuit's coming, but I mean, I understand that the employees on the plane are definitely at fault, but how is how is this also not your own fault? You know,
Right. I mean, I am
How
so
hard are you sleeping?
afraid of situations like that. I will set an alarm when I'm on the bus, and I will set my alarm 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before I even arrive.
I wish I could sleep that hard on an airplane or a bus. I can't even do that if I wanted to. I'm
Yeah,
always
I can
only
sometimes.
partially asleep.
But this will be strange, Jared, when I'm flying back to the States on Tuesday morning, because I fly back on Tuesday morning out of Prague at 6 a.m. But then I end up getting back to the States around like 2 p.m. So it just blows my mind because of the time change. I leave at 6 a.m., but I land in the States at 2 p.m.
Yeah, the same day.
Right, same day. So it's weird that
You made up some time. You got some extra time.
The other way around, you have like an overnight flight, right? So if you don't sleep very well, you're going to be exhausted that whole day. Mm-hmm. Whereas this way, it's a little different because you land, midday in the States.
And then the trick is to stay up until at least
Midnight.
9 or 10. Oh, midnight?
I go to midnight or 1 a.m. The first 3 nights I'm
If you
home.
can do it, then that's impressive. Dude, when I told you about when I went to Tanzania and I got back, and my plane landed sometime in the midday, maybe noonish, and so yeah, you can't nap. The first day you definitely can't nap. And so I was trying to stay up all day, but this was like a 9-hour time difference or something crazy. And dude, I was delusional. I was so exhausted. I felt like I was drunk, like I was dizzy, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I took some acid or something.
Right.
And I ended up going to bed at 8 o'clock, which was actually fine. But so this is not. So I thought, wow, what a weird story that is. So odd, and how could this happen again? However, then I would say a couple days later, scariest time of my life, another woman left alone on empty Air Canada plane.
Are you serious? So now they're two. Oh, no.
Now, this one is
It's
definitely...
not the same woman, right?
No. Oh, my God.
Oh, that would have been great. Okay, good.
But this one is definitely a little bit more, or fully Air Canada's fault. So just days after news, blah, 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 about the woman I just told you about, Pamela Prescott, a 69-year-old woman from Guelph, Ontario, who is visually impaired and has several other health issues, landed at Toronto's airport, same airport too, on April 6th. This was April 6th. This was actually before, but they just brought it out. Following 3-month vacation to Barbados. Sorry, she was in Barbados, chilling, drinking Mai Tais, whatever they drink there. She needed help filling out her customs forms and required a wheelchair to leave the Air Canada Rouge aircraft. So the crew told her to wait. Usually with situations like that, they get everyone else off, and then they're like, all right, now we'll come back and help you. They never came back.
Oh, jeez.
And so Prescott said she sat there for about an hour until a maintenance worker noticed her. She said the mechanic told her had he not been there, she might have been stuck in the plane for several hours until the cleaning crew arrived. So luckily, she didn't actually get pushed into a hangar, but she sat there for over an hour, and the crew, the flight attendants and stuff never came back, and then obviously Air Canada was like, sorry, blah blah blah. That one makes it doesn't make sense, but that's way more justified. That's not her fault. But it's just what are you guys doing? You guys don't do a final sweep of this puppy before you get off of it?
Yeah, that blows my mind.
Also, it makes me think how little cleaning actually goes on these planes.
Right. Thanks, Jared. You're giving me a lot of confidence for about to hopping on the plane in a few days.
I already told you a couple weeks ago when I was telling you the grossest things on an airplane, which is essentially just all of it.
I need to just wear a hazmat suit and I'll be good to go.
I think so.
Problem solved. There are at least some latex gloves or something. Who knows?
Also, one of these women was asleep so hard I didn't even know that was possible. And the other one had legitimate health issues. So I think it's pretty easy for you to avoid the situation if you just take literally the basic precautions.
Right.
I don't know, cut your Ambien and take down to 4 instead of 6 like she seemed to have taken.
Right,
well, the
that's
first
true.
lady, not this lady.
That's true. I got to say, man, I am almost all packed. Feels really weird. The apartment is more or less clean. Feels weird. I had my farewell teachers meeting today, and I cried.
There you go.
I cried. They played a slideshow of a bunch of pictures from the beginning of the year all the way until now. Mm-hmm. And of course, they had "Good Riddance" by Green Day as the background music. And held it together for about a minute, and then just couldn't hang on to it anymore.
By the way, you're doing a thing on Facebook and Instagram where every month you're posting pictures that represent that month.
Uh-huh.
I'm almost offended to see how many pictures you have from your time there. As someone that does essentially all the Instagram stuff, I'm like, really? He's got a backlog of pictures I didn't even know existed. The guy that claims never takes pictures.
I didn't either. You know what I do is I go back through the timeline and I find them, and then I screenshot them so they're at the bottom, and then I put them on Insta. I can put them on our page.
I mean, I would prefer if it was more of a proactive thing while these things were happening. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. I'll do everything. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, do you want to spread a little love?
I do. And first up, my the first recipient of the love spreading for today,
lucky,
is Target, because Target is finally bringing back a discount for teachers. Now it's only 15%, but 15% is better than nothing. And on July 13th, so it's coming up in a few weeks, Target is giving educators 15% off on school supplies, clothes, and other back-to-school essentials, which I think is great. I think more places should follow suit as well, because teachers do spend a lot of money out of their own pocket in the States for stuff for their classroom, whether it be supplies, posters, all sorts of stuff. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm with you. Shout out to Target. It's ridiculous how much of their personal money they have to spend on stuff for their classroom or for their students.
Oh, for sure.
Or it's this seems something your job should be paying for.
Yeah, any other business that would probably be paid for.
I'm not paying for my own supplies at at my company.
Right.
It's so it's you need difference. A laptop, but you got to bring your own. So we're not going to provide that.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just not going to do any work. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
I'll just do it all off of my cell phone then.
Right. The next one goes out to the university. Drexel University in Philly.
Shout out.
That has I know. I wanted to do this one just for you. The college music department at Drexel has resurrected long-lost funk music that was in some storage bin in Philly And the side on the label is Sigma Sound Studio. And so anyone who's familiar with Philadelphia punk in the 60s and 70s, Sigma Sound, the record label, helped create the sound of Philadelphia, which is a funky soul sound characterized by lush instrumental arrangements with strings and horns. And so there's a lot of famous songs out there, and there will be more music to come as well.
Oh, that's
so there
cool.
are.
What are they gonna? Do you know what they're gonna do with it?
I have no idea. I really hope that they will make it available to the public because I think it would be really amazing.
Or at least like
they have
make
over
copies of it or something.
7,000 tapes, I guess.
7,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
How do you know much about the hardware of tapes? Like how long do those last, or like especially if they're just sitting unused? I'm asking you a question that why would you know the answer to, but
that's a good question. Well, I mean, I think as long as they're stored properly,
right.
I think they can probably last quite a long time. As long as there's no bad heat or humidity or freezing cold.
Dry.
Yeah, I think if they're kept at room temperature, decent humidity and everything, if they're packaged correctly, they could probably last quite a while. Because we used to have tapes. I remember when I worked as a music recorder at Albion, we used to have tapes from like 10, 15 years ago, and we played through a couple of them just to see, and they all worked fine. So,
okay. Man, I wonder how much more music is out there that people just don't even know has been sitting there forever.
Right.
Even in people's homes, probably.
Especially, not only that, but even Prince had like this anthology of music at his house, and I hope that will also become available to the public.
Do you? Because I heard he doesn't want it to be released. That's why he has the anthology at home, and people haven't heard it.
Could be, but I mean, look, Franz Kafka didn't want his novels to be published, and they became some of the best literary works during his time. It's difficult. I mean, on the one hand, yes, we should respect
the wishes of the dead.
But on the other hand, too, like
I want to hear
could
this
be
music.
some amazing. Exactly. It could be some amazing music. I mean, it's Prince, for God's sake, you know.
Right.
So who knows? But so shout out to Drexel University. I hope they can get that stuff out. I would love to give it a listen sometime. And my last shout out will be to numerous people here that have made my stay so memorable. I'm not going to list off all the names because we would be here for... It's Jared, everybody. That's the only person I'm giving a shout out to. It would be too many people, but I just want to say, I want to give a warm, heartfelt thanks to all of the teachers at my school, the students that I was able to work with, and the friends that I have made along the way here in Chomutov, in Karlovy Vary, in Prague, of course, Hradec. We can't forget about my homie David. And all the other Fulbright ETAs as well. It's been a wild ride. I'm very thankful and grateful, and wouldn't want it any other way. And, of course, my big shout-out goes to Jared for being with me this whole entire way. And I think the podcast has been a fun way to document, all the crazy shenanigans that have been happening to me in the Czech Republic.
You betcha.
So it's been great. And it makes me sad to say I'll be leaving, but the beauty of the Czech language, the term nashledanou means... not goodbye, but more like until I see you again or until I see you next time. So until I see you all next time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I wish I could do the same thing here, but I don't have that many friends, and I left pretty unceremoniously for my job. So
That's fair. That's fair. You do have a slightly different kind of, what's even the word? Yeah, just a different
Connection?
farewell. Yeah.
Relation.
Something. Yeah. Farewell, yeah, it was just different. But either way, I'm excited that Jared and I will be able to reunite in Michigan very soon.
Me too.
But before we get to that, though, let's talk about some... do you know what time it is? Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's about that time. By the way, this is a rare morning and afternoon recording. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I feel more fresh.
It's nice and
I like
sunny
that
here.
There's light on your face, and light on my face because I'm not in a closet in the basement.
Right.
But anyway, let's get to some untranslatables.
Let's do it.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, you're welcome to submit some if you want, and they go something like this. My first one is Vietnamese, and it goes Hang Ton Ko Mat Chiakoa, and it literally means still on the shelf.
Still on the shelf. Ooh, still on the shelf. Is this like you're bored or something's being unused?
No. Well, something is being unused, but that's not really going to help you understand that's
okay.
the joke.
Give me.
So say you go home and for the holidays, or family comes over for the holidays, and your old relatives are like, "Hey, Chad, how's it going?" It's like, and they'll be like, "Are you still on the shelf? I know you're getting up there, and you're in age."
Oh, you're just getting old?
No. So it's like I'm trying to think of how not to give it away.
Just give it to me.
Say, "Hey, Chad, how's it been going? Any ladies in your life?" And you're like, "Still on the shelf."
So, like, no news. Nothing new.
Someone who is getting old but is still single.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. There we go. Still on the shelf. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Collecting dust.
I got some Czech ones.
That was no shade, by the way, just to be clear.
You jealous, Jared? Jealous about grass is always greener?
No. I meant no shade to you.
No, I know.
But you're not going to be single for long. You never are. Granted, maybe you will be this time because, we'll get into that later. But anyway.
That's right. No spoilers just yet. Yeah, this has been the longest I've been single for quite some time. Anyways, moving on to my Czech Untranslatable. It is dělat koniny, which basically means like dělat means like do, and koniny is like horses. So like to do horses. This is the literal translation.
It's like hurry up.
Nope. We have a similar phrase in English, and we also use the word horse. If we were on a time crunch, Jared, and we really needed to record this podcast, I say, Jared, stop.
Stop like dilly dallying.
How would you say that with a horse?
Yeah, I don't know. Stop horsing around.
There you go, horsing around. Yep.
Mama hoo hoo. I gotcha. Okay. Do horses. Horsing around.
It basically means horsing around, yeah.
Do horses like to have fun? I didn't know that. I mean, I don't know.
They probably do.
My next one is Hebrew, and it's Livtoa Pela Satan. Satan. It's Satan. I don't know how they would pronounce it. To open one's mouth to the devil.
Is that like speak of the devil?
No.
Okay.
Makes sense though that you would think that.
So that's like talk behind someone's back?
No, it's more like sometimes if you'll say something about yourself, I'll say not with that attitude. Or I usually or you would say don't open your mouth.
Don't be such a negative Nancy?
Yeah, but I don't think the judges like that.
No. Okay.
They're here. Yeah, and they got their first
They denied it.
They got their yeah. They flew first class all the way here to Michigan just to say no to you.
Fair enough.
Actually, I had to go pick them up from the Four Seasons because they refused to stay at this Holiday Inn Express.
So what does it mean?
It means so originated from the Jewish they say prohibition against saying bad things about yourself or other people, and essentially this means don't tempt fate.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Don't tempt fate. Interesting. Okay.
To open one's mouth to the devil.
Okay. Interesting. Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
So my last Czech Untranslatable
ever
is
in the Czech Republic. You can find more.
Right. Probably not forever, that's for sure. I'm hoping not to forget all the Czech I've learned. So this is Co za lubem máš, which basically means like what are... one second here. So lubem is like a special wooden vessel or container that's used in the old days for milling flour. So basically, like, what are you doing in the lube? lubem. There's no like good English translation for it.
Is this like wasting time essentially?
No, we would say. No, let me see here. Let me think of an example. So, say I come home and I have my suitcases and everything. And of course, my parents' dog Prudy. Check our Instagram if you want to see pictures of her. She's adorable.
You betcha.
I put my suitcases down, and I unzip one of them, and I turn around, and then I see her sniffing all around there. Then I would say to her, "Co za lubem masz?"
Oh, it's like you're poking around people's stuff, or nosy.
Yeah, kind of. You're getting into mischief. Would be a bit better.
Okay.
Getting into mischief. What mischief are you up to? Yeah.
So, speaking of which, what mischief are you up to in your final days there? And oh wait, I have another untranslatable. I actually want to do this one.
Go for it. We can talk about the mischief in a moment. Let's hear it.
I was so proud of my segue too, and I was like, oh crap, I actually want to do this. This is Swiss German, and that's why I want to do it because I want to see
excited.
if you could figure this out. I don't think you will be able to see though. Das macht der Brate immunitweis.
Say it again.
You lost you a little bit at the end there, didn't I?
Yeah. That's what the brother does.
No, Brate.
Oh, that's Czech for brother.
Getting a little confused with your new.
I guess so.
Your new language.
Give me the whole thing again.
Das macht der Brate immunitweis. So Brate is like Brat or Gebrat or something like that. A roast.
Like a roast. Okay, that's like braten.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then, but it's the noun. And then the last three words I said were emu, E-M-U, nid, N-I-D, feis, F-E-I-S-S. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know, but I want
So the roast makes the...
No,
Yeah, I have
das
no
macht
idea.
der Brate.
So what's the translation?
That makes the this won't fatten the roast, or this won't make the roast fat, I would assume.
So it's just like it's not important.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Yeah.
All right.
Makes no difference.
Okay, nice. Swiss German's interesting. I would love to get a guest on here that speaks fluent Swiss German and talk to them and have them give us some authentic Swiss German because it sounds so wild.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Do they, for the most part, do you know if they understand,
Of course.
Hochdeutsch?
Of course.
It's just the other way around, like Germans
Yep.
don't understand Swiss? Okay.
Exactly.
That kind of makes sense.
So,
Anyway.
today is the goodbye episode. Jared just asked me what kind of mischief will I be getting into my last few days. So, today was the farewell party for the teachers. And then I had my last svíčková at my favorite restaurant here in Chomutov called Republika. I took you and Don there.
Yeah.
Lunch was fantastic. I actually met the cook a few nights ago at a bar here in Chomutov. She's awesome. Her name's Hannah. Late shout out to Hannah for some absolutely amazing svíčková. And she's an awesome woman. And
Is she like your age?
well, I think so. I didn't ask
Okay.
her age, but I would assume so, yeah. Maybe a little older. I'm not sure. I cannot guess ages here. I'm terrible at it. Anyways,
Right.
So then after we're done recording, I'm going to, because basically I've packed almost everything except for the podcast gear. So I'm going to pack up my backpack, pack that up, tidy up the flat a little bit more. Then at 5, I'm meeting up with a few students to say goodbye. Then at 7, some other students, and then 8, having dinner. Guess where?
I have no idea.
Republika again.
Oh.
Going there 2 times
I was
today.
like, that's the only restaurant I know.
Yep.
And,
Yep. So I'm going back there for dinner, and then later tonight I'll be hanging out with a few friends at a bar, and then we'll probably mosey on over to Admiral and end the night there. So yeah, should be a fun last evening here in Chomutov. Hard to believe the day has finally come.
Packed to the brim.
Yep. Every hour on the hour, more or less. My goal is, I don't know if it will happen, but my goal is to come back by like 2 to 3 a.m. We'll see if that happens, but that's my goal.
Yeah, all right.
We'll see.
Slipping on gator piss. I remember you sending me a picture of all the stuff you packed before you left to go.
Mm-hmm.
What's it look like now, 10 months later?
So
actually, take a picture of it after we're done here and send it to me.
I'm going to. I already have the suitcase and the duffel. So I bought a duffel bag while I was here.
Okay, good. This is off to a good start.
Yep. So I bought have my suitcase and the duffel bag and my backpack. I have this smaller backpack that rolls up into itself. It's really cool. I just unpacked that, rolled it up, put it in my suitcase. But yeah, I had to donate some clothes. I gave a couple hoodies to a good friend of mine. I have some jeans that have like a bunch of holes, kind of in the crotch area. So those are just going to be pitched. And then, yeah, I'm bringing a couple gifts home for friends and family. Have a little something for you as well. And
man.
Yeah, should be good though. It's hard to believe. It was a little stressful at first looking at all this stuff I've accumulated. Obviously, I couldn't keep it all. I feel really guilty because the students gave me some really nice gifts, but I just, like, a lot of them gave me a bunch of food. It's just too heavy for me to take with me. So I've tried to eat some of it. Some of it I'm going to give to some other friends.
I just imagine you, like, wolfing it down just because you feel too guilty to, like, throw it away or something like that.
Right. But, yeah. What about you, though, man? How are you feeling about leaving Philly?
It's a little surreal. I like, it doesn't even feel like it's fully set in yet because I'm not, at least at this point, I've made no effort to like clean up my place, which I need to do when I get back because theoretically, ideally, I should be leaving soon. Mm-hmm. But it got me just like thinking about my time here, and I was thinking on to when I first even considered coming here. Like, I really disliked my first job as a financial analyst. I hated it. And so I was, like, looking on Google just for things I wanted to do, like things that are interesting to me, and I found this job. And I got an interview, and they, like, flew me out, and I got a rental car to go there. And as I just remember driving to the office, being like, "What the hell am I doing?" It's like I'm not actually moving to Philadelphia. No, like I hadn't even really told anyone about the job or that I was interviewing. Right. And so it was weird because I was just like, I mean, I'm not actually gonna do this. This just feels so weird. And then like a couple months later, I was there. But it feels like it feels good to like be moving on to a new chapter, but then there's also a part of me that's like, one, I wish I took better advantage of my time in Philly, whether it be trying food spots. I tried a lot of food stuff, but like going to food spots, going to areas of the city that I like West Philadelphia. I probably can count on like two hands how many times I actually went over there, like just exploring more of the city. Checking out more live events, whether that be music or some sort of other kind of shows. I just feel like, you don't really think about the potential to leave until it's actually happening. So I wish I was a little bit more on the ball with exploring the city, and I had more to really show for my time here. I don't even think I have any like pictures of me in Philadelphia, like at all, that I could think of.
You didn't really live there. Picture didn't happen.
Yeah. It'll be like I was just off the face of the earth for 4 years. It's also crazy to think I was here for 4 years, Yeah. Like, it really did become my home. It is such a weird, like, going through those stages. Like, the first year, it doesn't even, like, if you feel still kind of like a visitor, and it still feels kind of weird. In year, like, 2, where it's like, all right, I'm starting to get the hang of this, but I wouldn't call it home. Like, it almost still feels like you're still new there. And then by year 3, it's like, all right, I got this. Like, I get it now. Right. It's way more normal now. And so going through those stages was very weird. And it does feel now that I'm leaving like I really got the hang of this place. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if I'm going to miss it. I do wonder if I'm going to miss it. I don't know. There are definitely things about it I'll miss. Let me be clear. But I wonder if I'll be like longing for it. But I will say this. Sometimes I wonder if like how I feel about the potential for moving back to to
Philly?
Michigan.
Or Michigan, okay.
Like the potential meaning, like, that's not the word I'm really looking for, but like how all, like, if I'm too excited to moving back home, like how long that excitement to be moving back home will last, and stuff like that. Because like I'm excited to be moving back home, but there was a part of me that, as I was doing this job search, was also interested to see like, oh, what's the new place I'm going to be going to, and I don't know. I just think that I'll be like, I don't know. I just don't want to turn into like a study abroad person, where it's like, well, in Philadelphia, I never drove this much, or like, because there are a lot of things that are cool about Philly that I will miss.
Oh, I'm so afraid I'm going to turn into that person. I'm going to try really hard not to, but
you're not even going to be home for that long.
But even though I won't be home for that long, I don't want those 2 months while I'm home for people to be like, oh, great, here comes Czech Republic boy again. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I love the Czech Republic. I feel like, although 10 months have come and gone so quickly, I do feel like Chomutov has become my home, to be honest with you, in 10 months. I think some of it has to do with, I spent a lot of time walking around. Since I was right downtown, it was very easy to get to everything. I have a bunch of like favorite restaurants and places where I know the people who work there now. And and so I think there's going to be, like you mentioned, I think there's just going to be a ton of things I'll miss. I mean, number one, the thing I'll really miss here is just this view. I live on the 9th floor of my apartment. And you see the Ore Mountains in front of me, and it's every morning.
Bunch of colorful buildings too.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And so I'll just miss the nature around here. Obviously, the people. I mean, that goes without saying, more or less. The food. So I had to get my svíčková in today, because I could get it in Prague, but it's not the same. It really is not the same. But yeah, well, what are some things you think you'll miss about Philadelphia?
I'll miss the convenience, and by convenience I mean it will be an adjustment going back to needing my car for everything. I got real comfortable with, like, nowadays, especially since I'm unemployed, I use my car like once a week for like piano lessons, maybe once a week for piano lessons, and another once a week for like a random thing I go to somewhere.
Right.
And I'll miss that. Like I remember when I first got to Philly, it was like, it's kind of annoying having to figure out how I'm going to get everywhere. And you don't really have the convenience of just hopping in your car and knowing you can go park somewhere. But now that I've been here for a while, it's like, yeah, but I also don't have the burden of having to concern myself with my car. Like, it's so nice only needing it for specific things instead of like relying on it.
Oh, for sure. I'm really not looking forward to that. To driving everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Especially since even your area is even more spread out probably than around here.
Yep.
I will miss food. That's one of the things I don't think I took good enough advantage of, is the variety of food. I mean, Michigan has variety, but I don't think we have the level of variety that you can get in a big city.
Maybe in Detroit?
Yeah, maybe there is. I don't know. I'll miss just living in the city. Like, and the reason I say that is because like I walked around a lot through the city. I like to, if I had the time on a Saturday or Sunday, I could walk around for like 2-3 hours, go to like the Schuylkill River park and just sit on the river. That was nice. I said walking everywhere, but I miss like walking to the grocery store and stuff too. And I just started using the public transportation. It's not that bad.
Nice. That's awesome.
4 years into my time there, I just started using the subway, and I'm like, this is not bad. I kind of like this. So yeah, it's just readjusting to the freedoms of living in a city is really what I'll miss. I'll tell you what I won't miss. Specifically, the summers. The summers in Philadelphia are the worst. It's so humid.
Why, just too hot? Humid. Okay.
It's really hot too, but the humidity is crazy. Even when it's like in the 70s, it's still like super humid. But it does easily get to like the 90s, and it's awful. I also won't really miss the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania accent. It's kind of gross.
Can you do one?
Not really. No, I would if I could, really, but I can't.
Because I couldn't even tell you what it sounds like.
I can't really.
I don't
do
even
it.
know.
Everyone that listens to this podcast knows that I'm terrible at accents.
It's not anything like Always Sunny from Philadelphia, is it?
Well, they don't really have an accent, do they?
Not really. No.
I don't think any of those people. Well,
I mean,
I
think
from Philadelphia.
I'm not sure, but I think Danny DeVito has like a slight accent, but to me it sounds more New York than Philly.
It does sound more
doesn't
New York
matter
to me. Speaking of New York, that's another thing I'll miss is the convenience to both DC and New York City. That was
how far.
cool.
How far were they from you?
It was like 3-hour drive to Washington D.C. and like a 2-hour or maybe 2-hour drive if you're driving yourself. But if you take a bus, maybe like add another hour to New York City.
Okay, that's pretty close for U.S.
Yeah.
Our European listeners are like, "Wow, that's a long drive," but for U.S. people, that's pretty close.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Another thing that I think I misjudged is how many friends I have that are still back here
in Michigan.
Yeah. I tried to hang out with Chris, the originator of our theme song. He blew me off, so that's cool.
Whoa there.
He's not even my friend anymore.
Excuse me.
The originator of the bass line of our theme song.
I was gonna say, watch yourself.
I was like, what's the problem? I was like, oh, right, that's not even true. The originator of the bass line, he blew me off, so he's no longer my friend.
Did he really blow you off?
He didn't blow me off, but he just said he was busy.
Okay. As usual.
But maybe he's not busy. In that case, he did blow me off. He's like, I don't feel like it. And then obviously my good friends like Don and Brad that I've referenced so many times, they don't live anywhere close to here. Right. And so I think, it'll be interesting to make a new friend group, I think, or attempt to. That's another thing I won't miss. Is like I had no friends in Philadelphia really, and I was okay with it because I'm generally like a loner, but it does seem like it does also seem like you got to be like a sociopath to go 4 years living in a place and make no friends. I had one friend, actually I had a couple that I made. One of them I made through an ex-girlfriend I had while I was there, and we didn't. It was like through her, but then I ran into him one time, and much after I'd already broken up with that girl, and he was like, "Hey, we should hang out sometime." I was like, "Yeah, sure," and I wasn't gonna hit him up, but then one day someone
American friendliness
convinced me to. And I was like, hey, let's hang out sometime. He was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, how about blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, I'm busy that weekend, but I'll hit you up and let you know another time. And I was like, all right, I fulfilled my duty, and I never talked to him again. And then another friend I met at a party who wasn't, I'm not going to say through the same ex, but it was a party that I went to with that, I'm not going to say, I also got to work that out of my, so I'm going to drag to, that I went to with that person. I met him at that party, and it turned out that he was like my next door neighbor, and like literally like 30-second walk away from me. And he's from Ohio. So we were, when I first met him, we were like, oh, no way. And we hung out for a good bit for a couple months, pretty regularly. And then just stopped one time. I don't know what happened. And I there's another situation where like I never hit him up again, and he just never hit me up again. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. Doesn't surprise me that he probably didn't like me. So as far as making friends, I hope to adjust that. Another reason why I hope to adjust that, and this will be interesting because I found out that my mom, I don't know how often she listens, but I haven't had this conversation with my parents yet. But I'll be moving there with my lady friend, and I've never lived with someone before outside of Don for a year.
Your man friend.
After I graduated from college, and then obviously like college roommates and stuff. But like once I moved out of college, like moved out of the place with Don, it was so freeing to live by myself. And so that's going to be an adjustment in itself. But also, there was like when she was here the other weekend, there was like this was her first time in Michigan, and there was like oh, please don't hate this place. Please don't hate this place. And she actually seemed to really like Ferndale, which was good. And I'm not necessarily concerned about the living together part. I'm more concerned about the her making her own friend group, and not even that it's like, I don't want you hanging out with my friends or friend. Well, there's Guardo too. I should have a Guardo, but it's more just that it's weird it's kind of feeling responsible for someone else's like experience in a new place, where it's like part of me knows that it's not really my responsibility fully for her to make friends, but also you can't help but feel responsible for it, especially since you're kind of responsible for the reason that they're moving, even if they want to do it.
Sure.
Like, they wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for me.
I think we should do an episode. We did an episode making friends abroad, but maybe we should do
Making
an episode
friends in your own home.
Well, I think we should do an episode and talk about like ways you can kind of expand your friend group and talk about that, because I think that would be.
We can also
just
talk about it right now. I would love to know.
Well, I'll give you a quick and dirty, Jared. The easiest way that I've made friends, I won't really count here, because here it's mostly been through school and through friends of friends, which I think is also pretty common. But another great way to make friends is just at like any place where you would have mutual interests. So music, sports, a lot of people make friends at the bar. You can do that as well. You like beer, I like beer. Okay, we're friends. That was easy.
That's another thing, actually. I can't believe after 4 years of being there, I never joined like a soccer team or something like that. I told myself probably like year 2 that I was going to do that, and I just never did it in that time. I was actually driving around Michigan yesterday getting something, and I saw like a group of people playing soccer outside, and I was wearing my Sambas, and I was like, if you need a 12th man, I'm right here.
Right.
I got nothing going on tonight.
Right. Yeah. That's one regret I have here is I didn't play any soccer here.
I'm kind of scared
once.
to play now.
Yeah, me too.
Like
we'll
don't
play
even
together.
know.
We can start slow.
Like I don't even know what it'll. Oh, we should definitely do that when you're back.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but
we will.
one thing I am excited about is to record in person again.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
we'll have to play. We'll have to play, and I'll try to see when my nephews are free. They're both pretty good.
Okay. All right.
So we can kick the ball around with them. That'd be fun. But yeah, I'm super stoked though. 1, to be back in Michigan with you. 2, to meet your lady finally, which will be great. I hope I'll get to meet her soon. And that's the weird thing, man. Like, I think if I had maybe a different kind of situation going home, and I'm going to be honest, you coming back has definitely made it so much better. I'm not saying that just to butter you up. I'm saying it because it's true. And so I think it's made saying goodbye a little bit easier here. Not that it was easy, but the fact that, I think some people, when they have an experience like I have, where it's just such an amazing year, you make these amazing friends, you see all these cool things, you get to try all this delicious food and tasty Czech beer. Some people, I think, when they might be thinking, oh, great, I have to go back home now. Like, some people aren't excited about it, But I think the fact that I am excited to see my family again, play my guitars again, like, this traveler guitar has gotten the job done for now. But, oh, man, I'm probably the first 2 days I'm at home, I'm just be like, Mom, Dad, sorry, but I'm going to block out a chunk of time. Just let me go play my guitars.
Never leaving that little that little room.
That's right. Well, I'm hoping to set everything up in the basement now because we have different lighting.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping to move some things around, and that's where we could do some potential jamming as well. Okay. So to all of our listeners out there, we might have some music coming your way, hopefully, in a couple of weeks, which would be awesome. I would love to do that.
I'm also, because I'm a glutton for punishment, going to fiddle around with some more fancy technology while we're in person.
Oh,
maybe
cool.
step the video up with the real camera.
Fun stuff. So, Jared, we've kind of touched on this, but I'm just curious, do you have any other regrets or things you wish you would have done while you were in Philly?
Made more friends, tried more food, done more activities. Not that I can think of. Do you have any regrets?
A couple. And they're actually
Maybe that'll give me some, jog my memory a little bit.
They're actually pretty similar to yours. So I wish I would have, I used my lack of Czech as an excuse early on to just not really go out. Like I would go out with friends sometimes, go out with teachers, but like I wouldn't really ever go out by myself. Which in other places I would. In the States, I'd have no problem. In Germany, sure. Austria, sure. If I went and visited Canada, sure, no problem. Mm-hmm. Just can't fall asleep on an airplane.
They'll leave your ass in a second.
that's right.
They're tiptoe by you.
So I wish I would have gone out by myself a little more and just try to meet people. Like I went my last week when I had my last week of teaching. This past week, I realized like I only have a few more days here. There have been a few places where I haven't gone, so I went to them, and now I'm kind of like, well. Why did I do that now? I wish I would have done this months ago, Mm-hmm. And now what I would love to tell all of our listeners out there is when you go somewhere, no matter if it's 2 weeks, 3 months, or 10 months, I know this is cliche and everyone says this, but they say it because it's true. Take advantage of every day you can. There are a lot of days where I was exhausted, so I'd come home and take a nap. Now in hindsight, I think I wish I would have maybe not taken a nap and, gone and grabbed a coffee somewhere or, mm-hmm. Done this or done that. The other big regret I have is, and this was the difficulty of towing the line between teacher and friend with a lot of my older students, was I would really only do things with students if they took the initiative. If they invited me out somewhere, sure. I'll go out with you guys. We always had a great time. In hindsight, though, I wish I would have been a little bit more open and would have also initiated it more with some of the students who have become my friends, just because it's a bit too one-sided. I think some of them maybe got the impression that I didn't care, which was never the case. It was just I felt a little strange being their teacher and then, like hitting them up all the time, being like, hey, let's hang out,
Yeah, that's... I can understand why they might take it some kind of way, but mm-hmm. I could 100% understand where you're coming from. That seems like a dangerous game, kind of asking students to hang out, especially hanging out to do nefarious activities. Not nefarious, just like
going to the pub. I mean,
I make it sound way shadier than it actually was.
Yeah,
but it is like, especially to get drinks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. I don't know. It seems like the dynamic's a little different there in Czech Republic, but that seems like a lot more of a gray area, especially with mm-hmm. non-college students in the U.S. I mean, 100%, obviously, because you can't drink mm-hmm. as a high school student. But like you wouldn't, that would never really happen with like high school students in the U.S.
Yeah. So that's one thing I do regret. Let's see here. There's a few things I wish I would have done, which I didn't. I didn't end up going to the Alum Lake for a swim, which would have been nice. I also didn't make it to the Chomutov Zoo, which also would have been cool. There's a couple other things kind of around the area that I found out about 2 or 3 days ago. It's like, well, I don't have time now. But there's always next time, and I'm looking forward to next time. And the great thing is now, after spending so much time in the Czech Republic, I feel very confident if I were to come here any time now to visit. I would have no problem getting around. I would have no problem meeting people. Getting my basic things done in Czech for the most part would probably be all right, depending on how much I forget in the near future. But I'm hoping to keep up with it so I won't forget too much. But yeah, and I guess the only other thing I wish I would have done, or I regret, is, I went to countries where I've already been to. I went to Austria, which was great. I went to Germany, which was great. Mm-hmm. in hindsight, I wish I would have visited Italy, Poland.
That's why we did that episode so many episodes ago.
I know, and it never happened.
Just turn that into a travel tips and just keep and host it there.
Right. But yeah, so other than that, though, I have to say I'm very thankful for the way this year has panned out. There were some ups and downs. Yeah.
What do you think prevented you from traveling?
Some of it was finances, if we're being honest.
Right, makes sense.
Some of it was finances. We were also limited with the Fulbright to only having 20 days out of country. So some of it was also that. The others was, when I went to Germany, it was, one time it was for a job interview. That's a whole complicated story. Another time it was a job interview. Another time it was with my parents over Christmas. Another time it was with David, just a day trip to Dresden to go to the Christmas markets. Vienna once with my parents. Another time with my German buddy David. Let's see here. So that was Germany and Austria. Berlin with you. Oh, Berlin with you. Berlin with Jeff as well. So yeah, but all the places I went to while I was here, it was a lot of fun. It was great. I don't regret going to those places.
Right.
I just wish it would have been maybe more balanced, and I could have gone to some other places as well. But anyway, it's been fun.
You were saying there were some ups and downs.
Yeah, there were some ups and some downs. I ended up breaking up with my, girlfriend of almost 3 years when I was here, so that was a big change. That was difficult in the beginning, if we're being completely honest.
For sure.
That was pretty tough. But, I had a lot of great friends here that helped me through it. I really have to also say David and you both helped me a lot with it. So yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of changes. I've changed as a person, probably in more ways than I can think of and that I don't even realize now. I will say I do feel a lot more calm and a lot less impatient. I feel like now, because there have been things that have lasted longer than I thought they would, or something would happen. I think, 10 months ago, Chad, or even 2 years ago, Chad would not have been able to handle it the way I can now. So I really feel, I know this is a very big cliche, but I feel like I'm really ready for whatever life has to throw at me at this point.
I kind of feel that way too, especially since being in a situation that at my last job, not the one I just got laid off from, but the one before that, where like I didn't like it and I just decided to change it, and I guess I'd say worked out now that I have another.
Worked job. Out really good, yeah.
Yeah. It does feel good to sort of realize some of your potential that you didn't even think was there, and I think that. There's a lot of people that what's the word I'm looking for? Like underestimate themselves, but it's just you just have to put yourself in challenging situations, and that's maybe one of the reasons why it's like, oh, it would have been interesting to like move on to a new city, because it does feel like it was all like I was kind of not a coincidence, but it's like just based off of what I do is why I ended up here. It's not like I was trying to like end back up in Michigan. But it does seem almost like a cop out, or like the easy way is to move back to essentially the same area that I know, and kind of just continue on with my Michigan life. And it's like but I think also at the end of the day, there's still a strong side of me where it's like, I'll be here for a bit, but I'm sure I'll end up somewhere else at some point. Like I'm not back here to stay for good. That's no way. Nah. I am excited though. About the good thing about living in Michigan and living with someone else is that my expenses will go down a lot, splitting rent and all that stuff. And I'm making a little bit more money. So I definitely want to travel a lot more. That's definitely a big goal of mine. And make international trips more of a commonality in my life.
Right.
That would be great. And one of my first places I want to go is Colombia. You can get there on Spirit, as we've talked about.
Good luck with that.
For only like a couple $100. And
good way to practice your Spanish.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I definitely want to do that. I have a bunch of Colombians laugh at me.
Oh, I would love to go to Colombia. Oh man, I would love to do a trip with you to Colombia. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, well, you're welcome to. Well, I guess you're not. That probably won't work out.
Well, in the future, depends on how soon.
Yeah, I
you
guess
go.
I can go more than once.
Right, right. Make some friends there, and then you can introduce me to all your muchachos.
Okay, these are my muchachos. Is that actually? Do they actually say that, Spanish people?
Well, first of all, Spanish people aren't Colombian people.
Spanish speakers, excuse me.
Yeah,
Do Spanish people say
I'm
it?
just
I mean,
being a
they
jerk.
both speak the same language.
I mean, that might be Mexican Spanish because I have Mexican friends who say muchacho.
Okay.
Amigo, there you go. You can introduce me to your amigos.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so let me ask you, Jared, what? And I'm gonna pull one from the Golden Jared playbook. What will you not miss about Philadelphia? You asked me and David this when we did that previous episode. So what will you not miss about Philadelphia?
Well, I said the weather, the
Right.
accents, but that's kind of a joke. But the weather's not a joke. I don't like the weather. I'll miss the convenience, and I'll also miss like I enjoy the good thing about Philadelphia, even though I still don't like being a tour guide really, is I like it's an easy place to have people visit me in, because it's like a big city. There's stuff going on. I'll miss that. I'll miss you know what I'll really miss? Live music. I'm sure they have that here, but like there are a couple bars
I got a list of live music I want to go see in Michigan this summer. So I'll send that your way, and hopefully we can go to a lot of it.
Didn't you send me that like Ann Arbor specific thing? Is that it? Okay.
And there's way more. That's just the tip of the iceberg, my friend. Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna be hanging out a lot.
Yep.
I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is about any place you call home, there's always going to be a lot of great things you miss, but you know, some things that I'll also, you know, could be irritating over a long period of time. I will not miss walking to school every morning and seeing, I don't know if they were homeless or what they were, but like sitting outside, we have probably more than one, but we have a nonstop bar, meaning they're open 24/7 on my walk to school. So I'd see them at like 7 a.m. sitting on the sidewalk. Some of them were not the most fragrant dudes in terms of good smelling dudes. So I won't miss that. And the other thing too, it's kind of weird. Some days I really enjoy the challenge of trying to learn Czech and picking up what people are saying. Other days I'm just like, you know what? I just want to be somewhere where everyone understands me. I can understand everyone.
Yeah. You don't have to put so much mental energy into just having a conversation.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to being back in Michigan. I am willing to bet, though, my English has changed a little bit being here because, you know, I've been speaking
you haven't said flat.
Yeah, flat for apartment. I also, when I talk about times in college, I usually say at uni or at university. I know, dude. It's weird. I don't call it soda, though. It's pop. It's not soda.
All right.
So you're not going to take that. You're not going to take the Michigander completely out of me. That's for sure. But yeah, it'll be an adjustment though for both of us in many different ways coming home. And you know, I know this is cheesy, but I'm just so terrible at goodbyes.
Yeah,
like I'm terrible at them. I don't enjoy them. You know,
dude, I kind of felt that way. I said goodbye to my piano teacher the other day.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
It was fine. She got a new piano. I got to use her baby grand once.
Did the painter come in and paint you guys?
She wasn't painting us. She was there. She was taking pictures to paint later. Yeah, and that was kind of annoying. I mean, not the picture taking, but she's like, "What book is that? Would you recommend that?" I was like, "I thought you were here to take pictures." I was like this
look,
is
lady.
my lesson,
Right?
I'm not good at goodbyes in the sense that I don't think I'm a very like emotive person.
Emotional.
And so like, yeah, well, emotive. I guess that means to like show the emotions.
Oh, I didn't know that. Teaching me some new words.
Like to emote. To emote, isn't that to like?
I've never heard that ever.
Emotive.
I'm sure you're right. I've just never heard that before.
Arousing or able to arouse intense feelings. Yeah, it's hard to arouse intense feelings out of me.
Oh man, I was waiting for you to say something like that.
I was just reading the definition. I don't know what you're talking about. No, it is. I'm not a very like emotive person, so sometimes I wonder if if this person thinks that like leaving is not as big of a deal to me as it is to them, because I'm just I don't know. That's not how I emote.
Right. And I'm the opposite, which is why I think we make such a great team here on the Untranslatable podcast, because
I'd say so.
Yeah, like I said, I was in tears. Like it wasn't like I was like sobbing, but played the video and I felt the waterworks coming. I was like, oh, great, here we go. There were all
Like
the teachers from the school there. A couple tears rolled down. My mentor gave me a hug. A couple of the other English teachers gave me a hug, and yeah, I mean it's just difficult when you have such an amazing experience and you build these relationships. And for me, my problem is I think about, I had such a great time here, I'm really going to miss these people. And that's what triggers the emotions almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like I'm no actor, but I feel like if I had to, I could probably cry on spot. Maybe. It takes some concentration, but I think I could do it.
Have you ever tried that to get out of a ticket or something?
I haven't. No.
You should think about that.
I haven't. Well, hopefully my
funny.
driving won't be that bad
That'd be
after
so
taking
funny.
a break for 10 months, but we'll see.
I think that would make it extra bad. Oh, dude. So I drove here to Michigan, and it's about 9 hours. And now, this isn't good, but so I was kind of tired.
Got a ticket?
No.
Okay. Ooh, good.
Although there was a lot of cops in Ohio. But I rarely go over like 75 in Ohio. But anyway, I found myself, I guess I would say, dozing off. But early into the trip. And there was a moment where I like kind of eased into another. Now, granted, luckily, no one was around me at all. But I like eased into another lane. I was like, oh, shit. But then it was weird, because from that moment on,
You were wide awake.
yeah, it wasn't even like I was trying to stay awake. I was just like, oh, I feel fine now. Like, I don't know. It was so weird.
Well, I think at least that's happened to me before a few times. And for me, it's like that fear of, oh, crap, I almost got in a car crash because I'm almost asleep.
Right.
That's what like wakes me up like that.
And it was interesting, too, because it was almost, when I got to the hotel and it was like nighttime, it was almost a little tough for me to go to sleep, because I felt myself like, as I was going to sleep, like, no, don't go to sleep. I was like, oh, no, you're allowed to go to sleep now. But yeah, it was just like, it wasn't even like, I feel like I'm saying this just for like my mother that might listen to this. But it wasn't anything like drastic or anything. But it was just like a moment where I noticed that like I like lost awareness, and I was like, oh, if I was careless, I could have just fallen asleep there. But then from that moment on, it was like not even like the hint of feeling tired at all. It was just like, oh, I feel normal now. Like, that was weird.
And see,
It took almost flying off the road to make that happen. Okay.
And see, for me, I've been so spoiled here because I take the bus usually where I go most places if I don't have to walk. And I can sleep there, no worries. Life is good.
Yeah. So that was quite the moment. But other than that, it was a fine drive. Yeah. All right.
I guess I got one more question for you, Jared, before we move on. How do you think either you have changed or Philly has changed you?
That's a good question.
I've been trying to, what would Jared do?
I don't know if this is the city, but I think my time there has made me more willing to try stuff. That's where I started playing piano. Mm-hmm. That's where what else did I do? That's where like I don't know. Like I think as weird as this sounds for someone that is so like insular and alone. Like I think it helped me be more willing to try stuff. Like for example, I almost went kayaking this week, and if I didn't have to come here, I would have gone kayaking, which I've never done before. And so like I think I'm just less willing to say no these days. Now,
okay, that's even great.
even though like I still struggle with like meeting people and stuff, when like with people I know and what I'm with, I'm less willing to say no to stuff. I think it's also made me appreciate like the city more. I think that before I never really wanted to live in the city. I like the quietness, the space. But I think I'm gonna miss that lifestyle more than I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I didn't take enough advantage of it, really.
Okay.
Sometimes. Another thing I'm kind of nervous about, back to the piano teacher thing, is I am kind of nervous for like to get a new piano teacher. One, because I've been playing for about 3 years at this point, and I feel like, speaking of it, she literally just texted me.
Nice.
I've been playing for about 3 years, and I feel like my progress is not where it should be for someone that's been playing for 3 years, so I'm a little embarrassed for that. I don't know, like I'm embarrassed for like maybe sometimes I feel like my piano teacher was a little too lenient on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm just nervous for a new teacher.
That's normal.
I don't know.
That's totally normal.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
And you know, at the same time, she was probably more lenient with you because, you know, you work full time, you know, or you were working full time at the time, and you're there because you love music and you enjoy it. You're not there, you know, to get some crazy music scholarship or. Right. You know what I mean? So it's a different, you know, it's a different kind of relationship you want to build with your students depending on what their own goals are. And plus, I mean, I'm not trying to sound arrogant here or toot my own horn too much, but although I don't know much about piano, I think you and I, just through the process of playing music together, I think there's a lot we can learn from each other. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of stuff I can show you. It won't be piano technique, but it'll be stuff, you know, how to jam, how to write a song, all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
And it's good. And the other thing is I've always loved talking music with you because you have a good ear. You have impeccable music taste. I mean, every time I've been in the car with you, you always play really good stuff. That's another thing I'm looking forward to, is like doing little road trips and stuff. Because I didn't really... I went on some road trips with my mentor, which was great, but we pretty much would, you know, have a chat the whole time we were talking. Whereas with you and I, we're totally comfortable like cranking some tunes and just listening to the music and going for a drive, you know, and it's no problem. So yeah, it's weird though. It feels weird saying goodbye, but I prefer the Czech nashledanou, and it's not goodbye but until I see you again.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Speaking of good music taste, shall we?
We shall, absolutely. So today's song of the pod, I try to think of something that would be fitting to us saying goodbye. And I thought about Hello, Goodbye by the Beatles, but I thought, you know what, that's too easy. That's way too easy. So I found a really cool cover of the Beatles song Yesterday, I can't talk today. Yesterday by Himesh Patel. And so it turns out that there's a film coming out actually on the day we were recording this. We'll break the fourth wall right now, but the film is called Yesterday. And the music video, though, is actually recorded at Abbey Road Studios, and he does a great job playing the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has a very good voice. And if you like the song Yesterday, you'll like this song. I actually very much enjoy that song. I think I learned how to play that on trumpet in college, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think we had to do like not college. What am I talking about? In high school. I didn't even play trumpet in college. In high school is what I meant to say. We had to do like every year you had to like play a song to, like a solo song to your, to the conductor guy. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the years I chose that one.
Oh, cool. I'm assuming just obviously the melody.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I played trumpet and sang at the same time. It was
perfect.
Very impressive.
You played the chords on the piano with your right hand at the same time, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
but
just
it's a great song. I say he really does it justice. It's fantastic. Check it out. Yesterday, originally by the Beatles.
Pretty similar to the original.
I would agree, but you know, I have to say, sometimes it's really refreshing and cool when you take a cover and you change it. You make this like a funk song or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes though too, it's really nice to just see another artist. He's, I guess, an actor actually, Himesh Patel, and it's really
Is he actually
great
singing
though.
that though?
Yeah, no, he's singing.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
clips of him singing it live. And he's actually been playing guitar since he was, I believe, about 13. And I was,
Okay.
don't worry, I was looking at his hands. It looks real.
He's-
It doesn't look
he's
like
legit.
it's fake. Yeah. So check that out on our YouTube channel, Untranslatable Podcast, or our
You
Twitter,
betcha.
Untranslatable One. And the reason why I wanted to pick it is just because it seems like, they say yesterday, yesterday came suddenly. And now that we're both wrapping up our time in Philly and here in Chomutov, yesterday came very suddenly. So
And I'll say now that I'm moving with a new job coming up, kind of also all my troubles seem so far away now that I think even just 2 months ago, it's comparing how freaked out I was. Well, actually now almost 3 months ago, how freaked out I was then in comparison to now. It almost annoys me. All the people that I talked to at the beginning of it who were telling me like, oh, don't worry, this happens to everyone eventually in their career. It happened to me, and it turned out better for me and my family. Oh, this
Right.
happened to me, and I made way more than I did on my last job and got a promotion. And now that I'm that person, I'm like, God damn, they were right.
yeah. But you have to go through it in life. It's like everything.
Yeah.
You need that life
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, and my troubles also seem somewhat far away because I will be unemployed for 2 months. My next contract doesn't start until August. So
Yeah.
so I'll have July and more than half of August to enjoy time with you, with my family, with Prudy, with my guitars, with my friends. It'll be great. But one thing that I'm hoping to do while I'm at home and can enjoy my fun employment is, I'm coining your term, by the way, Jared. That's a great term.
It's not my term, by the way. People say that all the time.
Oh dang! Well, I'm gonna give you credit for it because I heard it from you, and
I'll take it.
I'm hoping
That's
to
my
keep
word.
up a little bit on my Czech. I have Duolingo on my phone. I have all my notes in my suitcase from my Czech lessons, so I'm looking forward to looking through those again. Which
With
brings me to
Duolingo.
our Czech word of the pod.
With Duolingo, you'll learn some fun phrases like the
That
elephant
make no sense.
escaped from the bank.
Right. Exactly. Or I touched the old tree. Yeah, it's just great. But yeah, anyways, my Czech word of the pod could not be more fitting. It is ahoj or nashledanou. Ahoj is the informal hello and goodbye. Nashledanou is usually what you say when you're at a restaurant or a store or something like that. So nice and
Okay.
easy.
Yeah. My Spanish word is kind of fitting, I would say. And I specifically chose this one because it is kind of fitting, but also because it's a double R word.
Ooh, okay.
Morinha. That was not good.
Morinha?
I can't do it. Morinha. Morinha. No, I can't do it.
You're getting there.
Morinha.
I'll try to help you out with that when I come home.
Okay.
What's Morinha? I don't know what it means.
I think one might say, or I might say, or you might say, tango morinha, which means to be home or have homesickness. I think it's homesick. It is. I don't think it's homesick. It is
Morinha,
homesick.
okay. Tango Mori. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've had a lot of people ask me that here, if I've been homesick. And I would say that I've really missed friends and family, but I don't know if I would call it homesick. Like
No, I get you.
It feels weird. Like, yes, Michigan still feels like it's my home, but after, I hate to say this because I love my parents' house, but after moving out of my apartment in East Lansing for 4 years, that to me really felt like home. Like, I remember the
Right.
first time I texted my mom and I was like, got home safe. And I was at the apartment. I was like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because growing up, their house was always my home. And so now,
Right.
in a way, it feels like, what is my home? Where is my home? And pretty soon I'll be building a different home. You know?
No, I'm with you too because it's like, yeah, Michigan is my home in the sense that I grew up there, but like, it makes no sense for me to say I'm going back home. Really, I just say it for convenience because it makes sense to people.
Right. Sure.
But it doesn't really make any sense in the sense that my parents haven't lived in Michigan for like a while, like 5-6 years, something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since they've lived in Michigan, and so they're in Louisiana now permanently. I have, after college, I lived in Michigan for a year before I moved here, and then I lived here for 4 years. So it's like I'm not really going back home. Like I'm going back to where I'm from, I guess, but I wouldn't really call it going back home, because it's like, I mean, Philadelphia is more of my home than Michigan at this point. I've lived here as an adult for longer. I don't know. It is weird saying going back home sometimes, but I say back home because it's still like the place I know the best, and still like, I still do have friends here, and I do think, for both of us, there's a difference between being homesick, because I certainly wasn't missing Michigan really, but there's a difference between being homesick and being excited to come back home.
Sure, absolutely, and that's where I'm at right now. Yes, I'm sad to be leaving Chomutov, and it's been an amazing 10 months. I can't believe it's over. But yeah, I'm just excited to be back in Michigan for a little while, get to spend that quality time with my friends and family, and it'll be great, and we both are starting to move on to new chapters in our lives too, which is an exciting thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. And, I'm very thankful for everyone who has been so hospitable and generous and kind during my stay here. I'm also very thankful that you were able to come visit and I could show you around as well, which was great.
Me too.
It was a lot of fun.
I did that.
But you know what, Jared? Enough getting sentimental, enough cheesy. Well, actually, there's more cheesiness to come. I have some Czech puns for you today.
Okay.
So, Jared, what do Prague divorce attorneys and waiters have in common?
I have no idea.
They're often asked to separate checks.
Oh. That's actually pretty good.
I thought that was clever. I thought that was clever, yeah. So what do you call a friend from Prague who is an amazing chess player?
I know the answer, but go for it, please.
He's my checkmate.
Yeah.
What do you get when you marry a woman from the Czech Republic?
I don't know. A hot wife?
A checkmate.
Oh.
Same punchline, different meaning. There you go. What do bankers who work with shady customers and nightclub doormen have in common?
Go ahead, please.
They make a living bouncing checks.
That's not what I was trying to figure out. I knew there was something involving that, but I was like, how does this going to work?
Right. Let's see here. What else do I... So, Jared, why do people only pay by cash and card in Prague?
I don't know.
Or sorry, why don't they pay by cash or card?
Oh, because they have Czech.
Because they use checks. That's right.
Yeah.
You better believe it. And my last one is, let me see here. So, why did the Czech neighbor never join him for his early morning run?
I don't know. Why?
He was more of a slow walk-in. Like Slovakian, right? Our neighbors. Yeah, you got it.
What did the I got one off the top of my head.
Let's hear it. I'm excited.
What did the I got to figure out the premise because I'm making this up on the spot. What did the Czech drunk people say to each other when they started arguing at the bar?
Check it out. I don't know.
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Okay, nice. Nice. That's a good one. All right, well, now it's time for a quote of the pod. And I think this episode has been helpful for anyone who is moving on to another chapter in their life and need to think about, what are some things you might regret while you are going somewhere. So we hope that you can use this episode for your next destination where you can think, okay, we heard that Jared and Chad regretted these things. We don't want to regret those things, or maybe there are different things you'll regret, and really take advantage of the time you have wherever it may be, so you can really, I would say a happy goodbye and really enjoy yourself, because I think it's very important. And I think another key thing about both of us leaving these places is that, well, maybe not as much for Jared, but the one thing that has humbled me so much is just all of the people I've met here and the relationships that have been made that will become friends for life. And I think it's important that wherever you go, you have those contacts. I'm looking forward to being back with Jared in Michigan very soon.
You betcha.
To enjoy that as well.
Me too.
So we're curious, how do you guys handle goodbyes? And what are some things that you have regretted when you have kind of changed your chapter in life as well? We would love
cherished,
to hear it.
Not just regretted.
That's true. Exactly. Yeah, we don't need all that negativity. Bring some positivity into our days as well. We would really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And you can reach us at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, untranslatable1 for our songs of the pod, and Jared's witty humor as well. Also, untranslatablepodcast.com. Check out our website. We have a lot of great stuff on there, including a running list of untranslatables as well, and the episodes can be found there. Also, please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. We would really appreciate it. It would make our day. And also let us know what we can do to improve the podcast. We would really love to continue to bring you even better content. So let us know. We're happy to change things up for you. And on that note, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Děkujeme a muchas gracias.